Stan Gibilisco here, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1GV, Whiskey 1 Good Vibrations. I just received a Federal Express box, a very heavy box for its size, in my woodshed yesterday. That's where they leave these FedEx and DHL deliveries, UPS, things like that, out of the rain. There were 3 books in there, and here's one of them. Let me see if I can get it right side up and frontwards facing you. It's so heavy, it's hard to hold it up with one hand. It's just about as heavy as a piece of concrete would be for the same size, about an inch thick, a little over an inch thick, and maybe 7 by 9 inches. 7 inches wide, 9 inches tall. And you'll notice it's not in English. And it was actually, I had to look on the copyright page to see what edition of what book it was. And it turns out it's the 6th edition of Teach Yourself Electricity and Electronics, co-authored with Simon Monk, the most recent and the current edition of that book. I also got a copy in Korean, that's the language, for the 5th edition. It must be South Korea. I can't imagine that it would possibly be North Korea. The quality of the paper is the best I've ever seen. The binding, the quality of production, they actually include some color, whereas the American edition does not. And I can't, of course, understand a word or a character of it, except on the copyright page where it says Korean edition. I assume that even though it was produced in South Korea, North Koreans can read it. I wonder whether they would get arrested for having a copy of this book. If you were a North Korean citizen, and would you get arrested for having that book in your house? It makes you wonder. And it also makes me wonder, whose list am I on anyway now that they know that I've published work in Korea? Well, I'm pretty sure I'm on a lot of lists already. I don't try to hide my identity. And anybody who actually looks at those lists and reads the contents of the list would either get very interested in one of the topics or get bored to death, because I have nothing to hide. That's my real name, Stan Gibilisco, and my real game is writing books, which I've been doing for almost 40 years. But of course, I didn't write that Korean translation. I don't know a single dot of Korean, but I found it immensely flattering, and the production quality beyond reproach. So it kind of made my day yesterday. That and a few other things seem to have been turning a little bit in my favor lately. Stan Gibilisco, W1GV, saying 73. If you want to train to be a ham radio operator in Korea, this is maybe one of the books you should get. So long, which translates in any language on any planet to da-da-da-da-da-da.